Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, welcome to the Daily Degenerate Podcast, episode 146, live via Zoom. I have to the left of me, but to the right of you, Thomas Penland of Hot Takes with TP3. TP3, what's going on, bud?
Hey guys, finally, I'm hoping that I can get things rolling again in the NFL. It's been a rough last couple of weeks. College football has been great to me. Got a big slate of that. Just getting ready, for some classic Friday night college football action. I finally won a freaking NFL bet with the Packers last night. Glad to be back on, Cohen. I'm excited to talk NFL with you. It's actually kind of funny. I texted Cohen yesterday, and I was like, I assumed you did the podcast with me because you actually wanted someone who wins NFL bets on there. And he was like, no, I actually didn't have time.
Nah, I wouldn't do you like that. I'll fade you or I'll ride with you. It really doesn't matter. So, Thomas, before we get started, is this the year to take Florida in the world's biggest cocktail party?
I took the Gators. I feel pretty good about them, honestly. Look, if they're ever going to have a chance to win this game, it's tomorrow. Georgia's defense is very beat up. Georgia's offense has not really been able to move the ball that much. Kyle Trask and these boys should be able to move up and down the field a little bit. I don't know if they'll win outright. I think 3.5 is a little too much with this banged-up team and this horrible Georgia offense. I mean, Florida can't cover this one, man. I don't know if they're going to beat Georgia again for a long time. Also, too, they had that little fight at the end of the game. This team, I bet, will rally around Dan Mullen and get him his finally signature win that he's been looking for his entire coaching career.
To me, it's not so much that I'm backing Florida. It's just I'm fading Georgia. Week by week, I just don't know if Stetson Bennett is the guy. I'm not a huge college football, even knowledge guy. But Stetson Bennett, to me, kind of seems like the great value version of Jake Fromm. And I just don't know with, like you said, the guys banged up on defense over here wrecking go-karts and dirt bikes and shit like that. Georgia's in a bad spot right now. The offense really looks anemic. So I just don't know if they'll be able to get it done against a good Florida defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, it feels like Stetson Bennett is Jake Fromm 2.0. I mean, I feel like JT Daniels has got to still be banged up with that knee injury if they haven't given him a try yet. Kid's a freak athlete. I mean, I think he'll be a good quarterback in the NFL. So that's the way I look at it.
Now, you know how Kirby likes to go with the guy who wins practices and the guy who looks better, the guy who passes the eye test.
Yeah, that doesn't win football games, though. That's all good and well, but that ain't going to win you football games.
Well, they don't call him Kirby dumb. They call him Kirby smart. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow in the world's biggest cocktail party down in Jacksonville. I wish people were able to go and, kind of throw the biggest party in the world. But 2020 is here, so got to do what we can.
Yep.
All right, let's talk a little bit of NFL. I faded the public just on a personal pick last night, and it got absolutely burned. But another Sunday, another chance to fade the public a few times. Let's talk about the Bears and the Titans. Heavy public money is on Titans minus 6.5. So I think just because of that, I'm going to go Bears plus 7. Buy up that half point to get the push on the full touchdown.
Yeah, Cohen, I'm really indifferent on this one. I like your idea here to fade the public. The Bears do have cluster injuries on their offensive line that scares me a little bit. Titans are, though, 0-10 against the spread the week before Thursday Night Football, so that's another trend in your favor right there as well. Look, if I was forced to make a play on this one, I'd probably do the same thing as you. This line feels a little fishy, though. I mean, this Titans defense hasn't been good. The Bears throw the ball a ton. I mean, you got to think, though, that their defense is going to be able to get a couple stops for them, and they can keep it inside that numbers. Davian Clowney's probably going to be out here as well. No official play for me on this one, but for the sake of the podcast, I'm going to lean with you on this one in the Bears.
Sick. Let's talk about the Lions and Vikings. I don't think the Vikings should be minus 5 against any team, but because Detroit's going to be without Stafford and a lot of other guys due to COVID and a few other cluster injuries, the injury list is a mile long for them. I'm going to go Vikes minus 4.5. It's going to be tough, but I don't know if Detroit can even stay in the game without Stafford.
Yeah, so actually I haven't been tracking this that closely this week, but I saw that Stafford, I think they said if he's able to test negative 5 times before Sunday that he's able to play. I don't know what the result was of the first test that he tried because he has no symptoms of COVID. So I know they're trying to get that to get him back out there. We saw how bad, I think, who's the playing quarterback for him? Is it David Blau again? Because, I mean, he was an embarrassment. It could be called an NFL quarterback. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
I assume David Blau.
Yeah, we'll assume that. I'll let you look it up while I keep talking.
Okay.
Kenny Golladay, their stud receiver, is out again. I mean, we saw the last couple weeks when they had Golladay in there how much better this Lions team looked. It seems like things have unraveled for this Lions team after they got their mojo back and going. Yeah, Cohen, I'm with you on this one. I think it's Vikings or pass. I think the Vikings are a little overrated off a big win. If Stafford's somehow able to come back in here and go, I'm probably going to gobble up the points here with
Yep.
Detroit. But until then, I'll take the Vikings for the sake of this show.
So it's going to be Chase Daniel getting the start for Detroit,
Ooh.
which is not as bad as David Blau, not at all. Chase Daniel win a game last year for the Bears. So I'm thinking that I'm with you, Vikings, but if Stafford's able to come back, I'm going to flip and I'm going to go to Lions.
Yeah, actually, Chase Daniel in there, screw it, because I'm not playing anything. I would probably lean towards the Lions. What's the public and what's the discrepancy? I bet you it's very public, honestly, on the Vikings.
No, honestly, it's like 60-40 in favor of the Lions, maybe even 55-45. It's not that big of a difference.
Wow, yeah, you're right. Well, shoot. I don't know. Screw it. Just put me down for Detroit. It doesn't even matter, though. I'm not betting this one.
All right, we'll go against each other on this one because we do like to kind of have one or two that we're different on. The battle of the NFC least, they're going to battle it out for the worst team in the NFC East. I think the New York Football Giants against the Washington Football Team. This is a game where I'm going to side with the public on this one. Giants are plus 2.5. If you're scared, you can buy up to 3, but I'm going to take Giants plus 2.5 just because I do think the Giants are the better team than the football team. So I'm going to ride with the Giants right here.
Yeah, I actually, so I've still got a little bit more work to put in on NFL this week, but to be honest with you guys, I think Giants are game of the week material for me here. The Giants are 5-1 the last 6 times they've played the Redskins. That's or Washington Football Team. That's straight up. This Giants team looks like they've been getting it together a little bit more. I like what I've seen out of them the last couple of weeks, but I actually have some huge stats here that really favor the Giants. The Giants are 16-3 against the spread as an underdog, and when they're on the road, they've only not covered that spread one time in that stretch. The other thing, too, that looks really good for the Giants is they're 10-0 on grass. The football team plays on grass as well. Like, I think Washington football team's completely given up on the season. Yeah, they're going to be able to get a little bit of push up front. But we saw the Giants play decent against Tampa Bay last week. I think they can use a little bit more of that game plan again here. I like the Giants to cover this spread. It is the Giants. That's why I'm a little hesitant to make them game of the week and max bet them. That's really the big thing, keeping me from pulling the trigger so far on it. But I will definitely have a play on the Giants on Sunday.
Yeah, that was the easiest cover last Monday whenever they played the Buccaneers. That was just the easiest cover I probably had all year. Giants looked good, probably should have won the game. I think it was a pass interference there at the very end on the 2-point conversion, but that would have sent them to overtime. No guarantee that they would have won the game anyway. Easiest cover of the year with Giants versus Bucks. I like the fact that they're trending up. I don't buy that they exerted a lot of their energy, so they're not really going to come out. They're going to come out flat against the football team. I agree with you. I think the football team is kind of given up. You can only rally around Ron Rivera and Chase Young so much. I like Giants to win this game outright, but if you're super scared, you can go buy the half point to go to 3. The only thing that makes me hesitant is that we got like 75% of the public money on our side, but I'll side with the public right here on the football Giants.
I'm in agreement with all that.
Seahawks and Bills. This is a game that I think is going to be really tough to handicap. Started out at 1.5, now it's at 3. 85% of the public money right now is on the Seahawks simply for that reason. It's Bills plus 3. If you want to get past where you push on the field goal, you can go 3.5, but I'll stick right here at 3. This is a really fishy spot for the Seahawks to be in, looking so good the past few weeks. I'm going to go Bills plus 3.
Cohen. I knew we were going to disagree on this one. I knew it. Look, I've tried way too many freaking times to fade the Seahawks, and I have lost. This Bills defense is equally as bad as the Seahawks is. Their offense is faded a little bit. I actually have 2 plays, though, in this one. I like over 55. I think there's not going to be a lot of defense. I think these offenses will march up and down the field, and I like the Seahawks minus 3. Look, Seattle is 7-1 against the spread the week after playing San Francisco. That's what they did last week. They're 13-1 against the spread in a division game or after a division game, which is from last week, and they're 14-0 in a teaser. I will be throwing them in my teaser as well. I love the Seahawks here in this spot. I think it's a good spot for him. Russell Wilson's on fire right now. Matt Milano's still out. He's one of the best coverage linebackers. I look for Russell Wilson and the gang to take full advantage of this. Also, too, the Bills have been awful against the run. Seahawks are one of the best run offenses in the entire NFL. I think the Seahawks have their way. Also, too, Pete Carroll is 14-6 against the spread playing on the East Coast. I think all these lead to the Seahawks getting it covered.
So the over right now is at 54.5. You do have a lot of the public on your side, so be wary about that. Ravens and Colts started out Ravens -3, but with COVID striking, now they are at +1. Money differential is pretty split. It's 55-45 in favor of the Ravens. I do think, though, outright they are the better team than the Colts. I know that you're kind of down on the Colts. I've kind of been up on them this year, but I think it is kind of a time for a good Ravens strike back. So I'm going to take Ravens +1 or the money line, which right now is at +100. Just give me that free money.
Yeah, Cohen, you would think the Ravens off a loss would be a great spot. I'm going to say not so fast. The Ravens are 2-7 against the spread after a loss since 2018. That is the worst in the NFL. I think it's more of the same here. Ronnie Stanley's now out the tackle, like you said. Marlon Humphrey's going to be out due to COVID and a couple other guys. I think this is a really good spot as well for the number 2 run defense in the league in the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're going to stop the Ravens dead in their tracks. Look, the Ravens look good when they're beating up on the stinky Bengals and Browns and all kinds of in the Washington football team. But when they play the big dogs and the Colts, like the Colts, I mean, aren't one of the best teams in the league. It's still a really good Colts team. I think the Colts handle business here.
Yeah, I don't know. The Colts have been kind of riding high lately, so I do think their little rise to fame could stop here soon. But I do see what you're saying. Baltimore does have a laundry list of injuries, but this is going to be a game that I'm going to keep my eye on because all this line movement makes me feel like something's up.
Yeah, the line movement actually makes me like it more. I locked it in at plus 1.5 a little earlier in the week. It's at 1. I'd still play it at 1. I think 1.5 and -1 is the exact same thing.
Not bad. So let's talk about the Panthers and the Chiefs. It started at 10. Now it's at 10.5. The money differential is pretty split. I do think the Chiefs are kind of getting in that midseason form as time goes on. For no other reason than I think the Panthers have kind of given up on the season after losing to the lowly Atlanta Falcons. I hate taking double-digit favorites, but they are at home at Arrowhead. As we get closer to wintertime, I will take the Chiefs -10.5.
Yeah, we're on opposite sides on this one again. I will have an official play on the Panthers +10.5. I think it's going to be one of my max bets. Look, Kansas City's numbers when they do and don't have Okafor, who is currently on the IR, and Christian Jones, who will not be playing in this game as well, are very different as he's been ruled out due to COVID. He's on the COVID list. Frank Clark as well is questionable. If Frank Clark doesn't go, I like this one even more already. Look, Teddy Two Gloves is 22-5 as an underdog in the NFL. He's in the spot once again. I mean, I'm not saying the Panthers are going to come in here and win this game straight up. Also, too, I feel like Kansas City is the best version of themselves at the end of the season. I think there might be a little bit of a midseason slump here. I like Kansas City to win by a margin of like 5 to 8 points. I think the Panthers are in a great spot to cover here. I like the Panthers to come out here and get the job done. I mean, the Panthers have a lot of weapons on offense. C-Mac is back. I think he's going to have a great game as well. I think the Panthers, man, can come into Arrowhead and get it done without having a full home crowd in there.
Isn't it kind of odd, though, that with the news of Christian McCaffrey coming back, the line moved in favor of the Chiefs for a half point? Like, wouldn't you think that would take three or so points in favor of the Panthers?
Yeah, well, actually, it was up to 12 after the Panthers lost to the Falcons and the way the Chiefs played. But the second the news came back, it went back to 10.5. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I saw that it opened at 10 and now it's at 10.5. I'd kind of assumed that with the news today, it really didn't affect it much, but apparently it did. There is some good value on Panthers money line. If you're into lottery tickets, it's like 95% of the public money is on the -500 of the Kansas City Chiefs. So if you're into lottery tickets, let one fly. Texans and Jaguars, the AFC South battle for the bottom of that division. I don't know what to even think, dude. I don't think the Texans should be 7-point favorites over anybody. For that reason alone, I'm going to take Jaguars +7.5. Money differential is like right at 50-50, but a lot more bets are on the Texans. So I'll take Jaguars just to let one fly.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this one, Cohen. I don't think the Texans should be 7-point favorites against anyone, no matter even who is playing quarterback for the Jags. Also, too, a lot of times you see these backup quarterbacks have success for their first start, then after that kind of get figured out, or even the first couple drives. You know, the Jags are off a bye week as well, so I'm sure they kind of put in a little game plan for him here. I'm not playing anything on a side, though. With all that being said, I do lean to the Jags, but I will throw the Texans in my teaser with the Seahawks, and I have one other team I'm throwing in the teaser with them as well.
All right. Are we going to have to wait to figure out which other team that is?
Yeah, that other team's also a max bet, so I'll go into all of it when it comes up.
There you go. That's a nice radio segue. So let's talk about the Denver Broncos and the Atlanta Falcons. This game was supposed to be played in London, but COVID-19 has hit and fucked all that up. The Falcons are 4.5-point favorites over the Denver Broncos. If the game is in Atlanta, lots of money on the Falcons, so I'm going to take Broncos plus 4.5.
Yeah, Cohen, I think you made the right selection there. I'm actually glad this game is no longer being played overseas because I don't really feel like waking up at 9 a.m. very hungover to watch the Falcons go ahead and ruin my Sunday. I mean, nobody wants to start their Sunday off like that. It's happened to me the last time we played there. I don't need it happening twice. Be honest with you. Look, anytime you get expectations for the Falcons, that's when they let you down. Takk McKinley and Dante Fowler are both out. I also want to say this too. Takk McKinley is an absolute bum. The fact that he said last year we could get a second-round pick for him was complete bullshit. I don't think Takk McKinley was even worth the second-round pick on draft night after we drafted him in the first round. I don't think we could have retraded him for another team's second-round pick during that draft. Takk can go kick rocks. He's done absolutely nothing in Atlanta, but that's beside the point. My handicap here, Atlanta's gonna be able to get no pressure on the passer. I expect Drew Lock to sit back there and pick us apart. I think Jerry Jeudy will have a big game. And the Falcons, man, whenever you get expectations for them, that's when they don't do anything for you. Also, too, I saw we shut down our facility today due to a little COVID scare. Apparently, it was with someone like with the team, not an actual player. Yeah, I was a staffer, so I mean, I feel like that throws a little bit of the week off in preparation and everything. I think the Broncos had a little bit of a scare, the same type of thing earlier in the week as well. So ultimately, I think the Broncos plus 4 is honestly a pretty good play. I don't bet against my teams though, so I can't wait to figure out how the Falcons are going to lose this week.
Raheem Morris is also 2-1 as the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Do we really expect him to go 3-1?
No, and I hope not. That'd be the most Falcons thing ever.
Well, I do hope so, but for the sake of betting, we are going to go Broncos plus 4. Even if the Falcons do want to gift us a good Sunday win and win by a field goal, we can still cover.
Also too, the Broncos plus 11 is a great teaser option.
Yes, it is. I don't think that we're going to blow anybody out by more than 10 points, even if we do win, which I don't think we will. Raiders and Chargers, the Las Vegas Raiders get the LA Chargers coming to town. Lots and lots and lots of public money on the Raiders, which I called that Raiders win last week against the Cleveland Browns. Let's go. Dude, I'm telling you, like, y'all hate me because I find good spots, but be more like me. The Raiders are opened as +3 underdogs, and now they are at -1. A lot of that heavy action late line movement has been on the Raiders. For that reason only, I am going to go with the LA Chargers +1 right here. Lock it in on the Daily Degenerate Podcast. LA Chargers +1 because of late heavy line movement. Raiders getting 85% of the public money, so we're going to ride with the Chargers.
Yeah, no play for me on this one. I lean with the Chargers as well. I actually wanted to play the Chargers, but because of how this line moved from +3 to a PK, it scares me a little bit. Also, too, Chargers traded cornerback Desmond King, who's pretty damn good to the Titans, which kind of tells me they might be giving up. Also, the Chargers have Falcons in them, as in they cannot keep a lead. They have blown 4 17-plus point leads in a row. I mean, it just gets funny at this point. To be honest with you, I barely even watched last week's game. I checked the score, and I was like, oh, they're beating the brakes off them. Next thing I know, I get a notification, Broncos come back and win. I was like, how in the hell did that just happen? So I feel bad for the Chargers. I don't know if there's any motivation here. I don't know if Anthony Lynn knows what he's doing. Coaching edge goes to the Raiders here. All that being said, I would bet the Chargers if I was forced to bet this one. Nothing for me on this one.
Yeah, and plus, like you said about the Falcons, how the COVID kind of shut down the week and kind of put a little roadblock in week of preparation for them. The Raiders have had their second or third. I quit keeping track at this point. COVID little scare. Now John Gruden's getting fined. Mm-hmm. The organization is losing their 6th-round pick next year. So maybe we can kind of attribute that to a little bit of why the line is kind of moving here late. So I'm going to go with the Chargers just because they have a better week planned.
Yeah, also keep your eye out, too, that Jonathan Abram and Josh Jacobs are both questionable with an illness. It's not COVID, just an illness. So keep your eye out on that, too. If neither of them go, I actually will be locking in the Chargers here.
So I remember me and you got burned last week against the Jets with the whole 19.5 thing against the Chiefs. I don't know what we were thinking because it is the Jets. But these big spreads, I'll usually hop on the back of these big spreads and ride. But the Cowboys fucked me against the Eagles last week too. Do you think I'm dumb for wanting to take the Cowboys plus 14 against the Steelers this week?
No, I actually think it's a really good bet. I personally don't have the balls to do it, but I think it's a good bet. I mean, the Steelers are notorious for not showing up to play after playing big games. I mean, beating their rival, the Ravens, the way they did last week, I could see Pittsburgh taking the day off in this one. Dallas has weapons, man. I mean, how often do you see a horrible team have Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb as their receiving options and running back? You know, not a lot of bad teams have that going for them. I'm going to try under 43. I have so many strong trends pointing in this direction for it. I'll probably end up giving that one a shot. I don't think I've won a single NFL under yet this season, so that scares me a little bit. But you know what? Got to go back to the well. Got to give it a try again. With all that being said, though, no official play for me on this one, but I think it's Dallas or pass.
Yeah, I really don't want to ride on the back of Ben DiNucci because when you watch the game from his 25 to the opposing 35, he doesn't look bad. But once he's forced to make a decision in a vacuum, he falls apart and he looks to run around like a chicken with his head cut off. He moves up the field well, but he can't score or make a pass in any sort of good spot in the field. I don't want to take Cowboys plus 14, but I'm going to because 2 full scores against the Dallas Cowboys, you got me there. You know, I'll take the plus 14. A little bit of public money, more public money is on the Steelers, so that makes me feel a little bit better. And, you know, like kind of the Steelers have got to lose one soon, so maybe they won't lose this week, but they'll kind of keep it to within a score. So for that reason, I'm going to go Cowboys plus 14.
Also, too, the funny thing is that Dallas is tied for the NFL worst start, which is 0-8 against the spread. Only 2 other teams have done it, and they both won in Week 9, so that bodes well for them here. And the Steelers are undefeated, which makes it kind of a funny matchup. Also, too, Dallas actually hasn't announced who's going to play QB. They said it's either going to be Cooper Rush or Garrett Gilbert, and they said they will announce their starting QB tomorrow. I think that's a little bit more to catch Pittsburgh off guard. I don't think Pittsburgh gives a damn about this game and knows if they just put their team out on the field, they can win this game. So I think Dallas could cover.
I know Gilbert, wasn't he the one that played for the XFL? The XFL when it came out, Garrett Gilbert. I think I saw him in the XFL. So he's had a little bit of practice. I'd probably throw him in there over Ben DiNucci.
Yeah, you might be right on that one. I really can't even remember. To be honest with you, I didn't watch any XFL. It was still basketball season.
Yeah. And I remember talking about the record start against the spread being 0-8. So now the Cowboys are tied for that record. I think they will cover this spread. I'm scared, but I think they'll cover it. I don't think that they'll go 9 weeks without covering a single spread.
I'm in total agreement with you, Cohen.
So in the terms of the second 4:00 game, we can talk about the Dolphins and the Cardinals. Opened at 4, now it's down to 3.5. The Dolphins are plus 3.5. Lots of public money on the Dolphins. I think the Cardinals are really good this year. I think they finally found a good mix of defense and offense. And for that reason, I'm going to go minus 3.5 for the Arizona Cardinals over the Miami Dolphins.
Really? It's at 3.5 now?
Yep. Dolphins plus 3.5, Cardinals minus 3.5.
Shoot, that makes me like it even more, bro. I have Arizona minus 4.5 in this one. I'll take the 3.5. That's even better line than I was planning on laying with.
Yep.
Look, Arizona's off a bye week here. Their defense has been good. They fly around the field. Myles Gaskin is out for the Dolphins. He's big in the pass game. Also, too, they're 32nd in the league at running the ball, and their starting running back is out. Matt Breida is also probably not going to go either, so they're going to be down to Jordan Howard, their third-string running back here. I think that hurts them a lot. It's Tua's first true road game. Arizona's been playing well. They're a team that's trending up. I think they come in here fully focused, and they give Tua a tough time on the road. I mean, that Arizona defense gives up yardage, but they get stops on third. They're really good on third down. They're really good at forcing turnovers, and they're good at getting to the QB. All those things sound like a rough day for Tua. I like the Cardinals here to get it done.
And if you watched last week's game against the Rams, Tua really didn't look all that good. Like, he made a few dumb mistakes, a few boneheaded mistakes. They ended up getting the win, but that was more because of their defense and Brian Flores using the same game plan that Bill Belichick used to stifle the Rams in Super Bowl, 55? I can't read Roman numerals. But it was more the defense that won the game for the Dolphins. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Cardinals right here, make the learning curve a little bit steeper for Tua, and and the newly formed Miami Dolphins. We have 2 more games to go. Talking about Sunday night, we got the New Orleans Saints against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are in midseason form right now. I know that New Orleans is getting Mr. Slant Route back, but
Slant Boy.
I think with the addition of Antonio Brown, maybe a good thing for the Buccaneers because Tom Brady can kind of keep his thumb on him and kind of do his thing that way. I'm going to take the Buccaneers -4.5. It makes it even better that we got 70% of the public money on the other side for the for the New Orleans Saints. So that makes me want to stick Buccaneers. Slide, baby, slide.
Yeah, Cohen, I was waiting until game day to decide on this one just because Drew Brees' shoulder and whatnot because I wanted to take the Saints originally. The fact you said that, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger then on the Bucs. Yes, Slant Boy's back. Yes, the Saints are 9-1 against the spread in division rematch games, which would be this situation here. Tom Brady got embarrassed, and that was his first game. Now they have Gronk, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin's supposed to be back as well.
And they're all in midseason form. That was a different Tom Brady, a different Gronk, and a different Bucs team because then with a whole new team, a whole new idea, you don't get that summer camp and that fall to practice with your guys and to kind of get on the field with them. Brady was having to go to local high schools with the receivers and just play that way. But now that they're in midseason form and we've seen the best almost version of this Buccaneers team, I'm on them heavy.
Yeah, I'm completely agreeing with you there, Cohen. Also, too, they have the linebackers and safeties to match up on Kamara. They have the best run defense in the whole NFL. I think they make Brees and Slant Boy get it going all game long. I don't think they're going to be able to. I think the Buccaneers get revenge here on Sunday Night Football.
Me as well. That's one game that I'm going to be looking forward to watching all weekend.
Same.
So what may be the worst game of the week is going to be Monday Night Football between the New England Patriots coming off, 4 straight losses, and the New York Football Jets, who are coming off of 8 straight losses, bad ones at that. It is 7.5 right now, and loads of public money is on the Patriots, but I cannot bring myself to bet on the New York Jets +7, so I'm going to go +7.5, so I'm going to go with the New England Patriots -7, buy back the half point to get the push on the full touchdown. It's not a confident play, but dude, I'm telling you, I just cannot bet on the Jets. After the way they fucked me on the 19.5 with the Chiefs, I just can't do it no more.
Yeah, I actually didn't end up locking that one in with the 19.5 and the Chiefs. That was just the way I leaned it. I don't really mess around with spreads like that unless I want to take the underdog or it's college
It was so
football.
big. It was so big I had to take it.
Yeah, in college football, I don't have a problem with it sometimes. Look, I think y'all thought I forgot that I told y'all I was going to close out my 3-team 6-point teaser.
Oh, yeah. The cliffhanger.
This is the spot right here, guys. I promise I didn't forget about y'all. I could never do that. Give me the Patriots, man. I also am on a max bet on the Patriots -7.5. This one is another one running for my NFL game of the week here. I love the spot. I love everything about it for the Patriots. I think they absolutely smack the crap out of the Jets here and get back on track. I mean, if you really think Bill Belichick's going to let the freaking garbage Jets beat him, y'all are crazy.
No.
Y'all are crazy. Give me the Patriots here. I mean, they're going to we've already seen their game plan. They're going to make Darnold see ghosts on Monday Night Football ×2. If I was Darnold, I wouldn't even show up for the game. That's how scared I would be. Patriots, absolute slaughter fest. Let's go ahead and close out that 3-team teaser as well, and let's get this money.
If I was Sam Darnold, I would go ahead and get mono again. That way I can sit at the apartment for a few weeks to not have to play this game. 2 things that do scare me is I hate being on 7.5 because the full touchdown burns you. And we are on the same side as the Joes with 80% of the public money on our side. But there are 2 games that I will ride with the public on right here. And the Patriots and the Jets is the last one. I cannot seem to find my way to bet on the Jets against Bill Belichick or the Jets in general anymore. I think that the locker room has been completely lost. There's no more hoo-ha. There's no more rah-rah trying to fight for, maybe Coach Gase's 1 win. Everybody's given up. They're trading away their best players. I think the Jets get absolutely smoked right here. I don't want to hit a back door against 7, though, so I'm going to stick at 7. I'm not going to take the 7.5. Hopefully it goes down a little bit by game time, but if not, go ahead and buy that half point and lock it in.
John, couldn't agree with you more.
So, Thomas Penland, you already gave us your picks and your locks of the week. Say that teaser one more time in long form. That way we can get it at the end of the episode and lock it in.
Okay, so it's a 6-point teaser, 3 teams. It should be you risk 1 unit to win 1.5. So if you're risking $100, you should win $150 off it. It consists of the Patriots, the Texans and the Seahawks. So it'd be Seahawks +3. Texans should be -1 or 1.5, and the Patriots should be -1 or 1.5. So basically, you're picking the Patriots and the Texans just to win, and if they push, you'll get your money back. So,
well, hell yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, best of luck. It's no longer Locktober, but that doesn't mean we still can't cash out. Thomas Penland, tell us where to find you.
Yeah, find me on Twitter at TP3Bets. Already got my whole college football card up there for y'all tomorrow. On Instagram at TP3Wins, or other way around. Twitter at TP3Bets, Instagram at TP3Wins. Get at me on there. Follow me. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I suck at betting on the NFL and you faded me and won money. Or tell me that you're going to follow all these college football picks and win money tomorrow. Yeah, let us know what's good.
Interact with the folks. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Instagram at Cohen_Hughes, or you can find me on Instagram for the podcast page at TDDPod. Twitter's at TDDPod, or you can follow myself and Thomas on the Action Network app. That's where you can get all of our picks live, and as we make them, you can see our records, you can see our trends, you can see us sport by sport, you can see us all the way. We are practically naked on the Action Network. Daily Degenerate, and what is yours? Hot Takes with TP3? Or are you just Thomas?
Hot Takes.
Hot Takes with TP3 and Daily Degenerate Podcast on Action Network. Guys, thank you so much for listening to episode 146, the Week 9 NFL Picks ATS against the spread. We really hope you make some money. Let's go cash out. Just because it's not Locktober doesn't mean we can't still have locks. Peace out, guys.
Hey. Boom. Good shit.